You are now listening to Regular Guys Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, it must be Wednesday because Regular Guys Podcast is back again. As promised, every other week we will be here to talk some sports. As always, I'm your host, Matty Ice, here to join
Matty
me.
Ice.
We got PJ. PJ, tell the people what is good, man, for you on this Wednesday.
What's up, y'all? As you can see, I'm in Minnesota right now. I'm at US Bank. I'm close friends with the Wilfs, Mark and Ziggy. They let me in the place. They gave me keys to the crib, told me to eat whatever I want, run around, put the AC whatever temperature I like. So we're chilling out here in US Bank.
Jake, tell the people what's good, man.
What's up, guys? Glad to have you guys back. It's Wednesday. Hopefully, we can get you through the rest of the week. And I'm looking forward to the show.
Wednesday.
We have a really good show planned for you guys today. As always, we're going to start with the injury front. Week 7 is just wrapping up as the Saints and Seahawks play. Just to start off,
I need a shootout there, man. This game's going slow. The Saints
not,
game,
bro.
3-7.
It's Gino.
I hate it.
No, it's okay. It's good. We need this.
You good, bro? You tried.
It's disgusting.
For those of you who don't know, PJ's about to lose to the worst team in our league.
Wait a minute.
So,
to the worst. This guy drafted the best team in 2012.
Isn't this back-to-back L's? Oh, man.
No, he won last week.
He won last week?
What?
Oh,
I beat
man, I
Jake.
thought it was back-to-back.
Yeah, no. He beat me, and then he loses to the worst team. Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then I was supposed to get clapped this week.
Yeah, you were.
To be fair, it's Jake's fault. He told me to bench Johnson. If I played Johnson, I won already.
So Jake's giving people all types of L's. It was his fault.
I mean, that's fine. I'm just trying to get dubs.
Injury front news, ladies and gentlemen. Nick Chubb will return to the field this week, expected to play. In other news as well, Patriots cornerback Jonathan Jones is out for the season after undergoing shoulder surgery. Zach Wilson is out for 2 to 4 weeks after he sprained his PCL. Has been confirmed that DJ Chark will miss the remainder of the season after fracturing his ankle. In other news, Miles Sanders and Josh Jacobs both left the game. Jacobs with the chest injury, Sanders with an injured ankle. Sanders has been labeled as week to week, so we will see how that plays out. Jacobs and the Raiders are on bye, so hopefully that will give them much needed rest. Obviously, PJ's hoping so. But PJ, hey, hit me up. I got Drake, bro.
I'm losing running backs every single week. Every single week this year, I've lost a running back.
He makes a trade, and then that running back just dies.
They die.
Yeah, it's sad. He makes a trade, sending out a running back. The running back does good. Henderson says hello, by the way. But hey, that is our injury front news for you guys on this lovely Wednesday morning.
Wait a minute, I think we forgot about Devontae Adams here with COVID.
Oh yes, Devontae Adams will miss this week's game due to COVID. Joe Barry, no, not Joe Barry, that was on this show a couple episodes ago, has tested positive, and because of that, the team has decided to do go back to virtual for this week. They are on a short week playing the Cardinals this Thursday night. They will be without Devontae Adams, so we will see how that fares for them this week against the Cards. But now it's time to get a little spicy, gentlemen. Overreaction Monday. PJ, what you got for us?
Yeah, we're going to talk about it a little bit, but I think Patty Mahomes is teams are figuring him out. He looks mortal. It might be time to say Patty Mahomes is not the best QB that came out of that draft. Josh Allen's looking spectacular. We know he struggled a little bit for a few years initially, but he's over that. He looks to be putting together a stellar career. It's only a few games. That's why it's an overreaction. He could easily bounce back to MVP status, Mahomes, but he looks like he's getting figured out. And since becoming the starter in 2018, this is the first time that the Chiefs have ever scored fewer than 10 points in a game in his entire era. The points are trending down all year. His stats are trending down. They've never had more than 18 turnovers in the season. They have 17 already through 7 games. So there's definitely something going on. I think it starts with Mahomes. It could be because he had that new baby. My guy's not sleeping. You know, get some rest, man. Get a babysitter. Get some sleep for a week. Come back next week. See how it goes out. But that's my take.
Yeah. Pretty good overreaction. I'm there with you. It's definitely, like you said, he could definitely bounce back as soon as next week, but we'll see. But as the weeks go on, it doesn't seem to look good at all. Jake, hit us with your overreaction Monday take.
The Bengals will own the AFC North for the next 15 years. And I say own. Like, absolutely own. I don't think Burrow's going to be the next best quarterback in that division. And he's going to make sure the Bengals are always competitive and always going to get a bye week in the playoffs. It's overreaction for a reason, PJ.
That is crazy.
Do you know the Steelers?
Yeah. Who's
Yes.
gonna be quarterback after Big Ben?
Yes, the Steelers are trash now. However, do you know the Steelers as a franchise? When have the Steelers ever been bad for long? They've gone through lulls for sure. The Steelers never field a bad team for longer than a season or two. 15 years is a long time. Steelers
We
are
said
not
that
gonna
about
be
the
down.
Patriots too, and look at
Steelers
them.
Steelers not gonna be trash for 15 years. I also don't trust what's the coach of Zach Taylor? I don't trust him. That dude's like 31 years old. It looks like he still eats Go-Gurt every morning. I'm not
I mean, you
I'm
don't
not
have to trust
putting
the head
anything.
coach. It's Joe Burrow
Yes, you
who's
do.
throwing the
Yeah.
ball.
If you're talking about a dynasty, name me one dynasty without a good head coach.
I mean, I can name you
Oh,
one, but that's gonna be a
oh,
real cold take.
oh, exactly. Yeah.
Belichick.
I mean,
It was Brady. It was all Brady.
Okay.
all right. Is there a way we can
Okay.
kick this guy out of here? Is that
All
possible?
Brady.
Okay.
It was all
Well,
Brady.
man.
guys, as you see, Jake's drinking a little bit too much of the
I don't know.
overreaction
I don't know
Monday.
what this guy's talking about. I mean,
Isn't
it's a
it
good overreaction.
overreaction
It
for
got
a
us talking.
reason?
It's a good
It got
take.
us talking.
I personally had no problem with it. Then you lost me when you said it was all Brady. My overreaction Monday. Strap in, gentlemen. Cooper Kupp is the best receiver ever.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
ever.
All right. Now
You heard it here,
what
ladies
is
and
this?
gentlemen. Cooper Kupp is the best receiver. Jerry Rice, if you're listening, look,
He's
step
definitely better
aside
than
because
Moss.
Cooper Kupp. Oh, I like that take right there too.
How can
Cooper Kupp. Let's just look. Is just ridiculous. Okay,
especially if I
double
jump from these rafters up here, man. I just
double-digit targets every single week. It's he's had what 4 games so far of over 100. Almost should be 7. Came close twice. His worst game was 64 yards off of 5 catches with 13 targets. And that was still a good game for most receivers. So yes, you heard it here first. Cooper Kupp. You know what? Why not? Send me a jersey, bro. Best receiver ever. Randy Moss ain't got nothing on you, sir. But hey, you guys let us know what your overreaction segments are, your takes are on this week 7. Let us know down in the comments what you think.
I'll just say that's a trash take for 2 reasons. If Moss had a number of targets that Cup had, Moss would go for 3 bills and 8 touchdowns. Get out of here.
Bro, he's not the best ever.
So
bro,
who had
just
the
so
worst
you
take then, PJ?
Oh, definitely Matt.
Okay.
Best ever? Get out.
And that's why it's overreaction Monday, people. But hey,
But it's
week
Wednesday,
7,
my guy. It's Wednesday.
overreaction Wednesday. We're recording on a
Wi-
Monday. The
Wild
people
Take
need to
Wednesday.
know what we there we go. We like that. We'll change the segment up for you guys in the next episode. going into week 7 recap on what happened this week. Again, PJ talked about it in his overreaction. The Chiefs absolutely get worked Sunday against the Titans. The score honestly should have been a lot worse than it really was. I kind of felt like the Titans stepped off the gas just a little bit, winning 27-3. Yes, you heard it here. You were not dreaming, Chiefs fans. You only put up 3 points. Jake, I feel like we ask this question every week. What's going on with the Chiefs, man?
Mahomes. Mahomes in the defense. That's simply all it is. I don't really want to say it's coaching, but at the same time, if you're not helping your quarterback adjust at all, you gotta put some blame on Andy Reid. Um, Play calling goes through him, and if your receivers aren't getting open, why are you not creating stuff for your playmaker and Tyreek Hill? You know he can do so much. Why not try to force feed him the ball? If something's not working, why do you keep going back to it? And you're not adding the protection to Mahomes. You guys spend I don't know how much in the offseason for that offensive line, and yet they can't protect Mahomes. So why wouldn't you try to figure out some blocking packages, something to just to give him at 2 more seconds? If Mahomes gets, he could either create something with his feet or he can dump it off to somebody. But they're not creating anything for Mahomes, so he ends up getting hit because he got obliterated by Tennessee. They absolutely killed this man. They took their foot off the gas offensively, but not defensively. Like I swear they were going for the kill. Like that's how bad it was. So it go. You want to say Mahomes and defense, but I think some of it's going to go on the coaching too because they're not really being creative right now.
Yeah, so I put Mahomes in my earlier segment so I could trash on him a little bit because during this segment I really want to talk about the coaching. I do think, like Jake said, a lot of it is on the coaching, and, and I feel like this is kind of typical for Andy Reid. Like when he got to Philly, he was great. He really turned the ship around. Philly
Makes the
was
Super Bowl.
perennial contenders, Super
Yeah,
Bowl, and then what happened after that? Right after their
goes
one or
downhill.
two Super Bowl runs, people started figuring him out. McNabb, who looked like an MVP for a while, started looking like a regular guy again. It seems like we're following almost the same trajectory that Andy Reid is kind of an offensive mastermind, but he's also an old head, so he gets stuck in his ways. I think people figure him out. I think Jake hit it on the head too about the O line, 4 sacks on Mahomes, 2 forced fumbles, of course the picks. We've had a bad O line for a while. That kind of falls on the coach eventually to sort that out. So I think um, Mahomes has a lot to do with it, but I would definitely say a lot of it also falls on Andy Reid just being Andy Reid again and going back to his old ways.
Yeah, it's and I didn't really think of it like that until you mentioned that, but that might be Andy Reid's tell sign that hey,
Yeah.
I'll go to another team and I'll start us off good. We'll have our little small window of 2 years of great uh, excellence, making it to a Super Bowl. Might win you one. After that, I'm pretty much done. I'm off to the
This
next team.
reminds me of it's a completely different sport with basketball, but Mark Jackson with the Warriors. He
Yeah,
built those boys up, and then they just couldn't. Something was wrong. Something wasn't clicking. They were always contenders. They were always doing great. So you just switch up the coaching. That's all you do. And then look what happened with Golden State after that. They built something that lasted more than 1 season, 2 seasons. So it's probably like PJ said, probably time after the season, especially if they don't make the playoffs. I would, would you be surprised if they moved on from Andy Reid?
I think I'd be a
I,
little surprised after one
just a tad
season.
bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
But for missing the playoffs,
I
Missing the
still
playoffs
would.
would be very egregious. They're such a talented team. It would be a huge shock for them to miss the playoffs. I still think they make it as a wild card team. If they do miss, I still think you give Andy one more season.
Yeah,
And
at
if
least
and
one
if
more.
yeah, and if you're not up to snuff after that season, I for sure see Andy gone then.
And just to add one last thought, like I'd be perfectly okay with the firing. Let's say if the Chiefs just never win another game the rest of the season, for sure. But if they're kind of hit and miss, and the most they win is 8 games, I keep him for one more year. But the seat is definitely beyond hot. Um, and I think you give them one more little crack at it to see what they could do. But
So
for
if
me,
you keep, sorry, Matt, go finish.
no, I was just gonna say it really have to take for them to win like no more games, or maybe 4 to 5 games for me to say, you know what, yeah, Andy's got to go.
So then what? So let's say okay, they missed the playoffs, but out of just respect and wanting to see if it was just a bad season, you keep Reid. But what if you give all the offensive play calling to Bieniemy?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
isn't Reid the one that's calling all the offensive plays?
So yeah, I meant to touch on that too. Uh, I 100% agree with that. Bieniemy should be. That's also if Bieniemy's still there next year.
Yeah,
A lot of people last year were looking at him as head coach. He was in Minnesota actually as our running backs coach. If Zim falls apart as he's doing, I could easily see him going back to Minnesota because he's familiar with it. He knows it as the head coach. If Bieniemy's decides to stick around in Kansas City, I think it would be to take over offensive duties from Andy Reid for sure, and I think that would be good. I think that would inject youth and a different persona on the team.
yeah. But I will say that somebody that needs to go, the defense coordinator, the defensive scheme, it just got to go. You got to. I don't care what you got to do. You just got to find some new guys, something.
They need to
Maybe this
pry
is a
Todd
good year
Bowles
that
away
you
from the
tank.
Bucks.
Something. Maybe this is a good year you think. This upcoming class is pretty good as far as corners go. LSU's got a really good one coming up, so we'll see. But let's move on to something else. As Jake mentioned in his overreaction, the Bengals march into Baltimore and take control of the division, absolutely beating and just stunning the Ravens. um PJ, what were your thoughts after the Bengals took care of business in Baltimore?
Yeah, there were a few surprises for me. One, Jamar Chase, of course. Um, the 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 Ravens aren't, they're not the best defensive team, but they're certainly a top 10 defensive team. They've got great cornerbacks in Marlon Humphreys and Everett, whatever, however say his name, send me a jersey. Tell me how to pronounce it. Um, great young corners, and they're getting chewed up by Jamar Chase, who couldn't catch a football 6 weeks ago. I don't like, you know what I mean? Like if you told me at the beginning of the season, Marlon Humphreys, Everett versus Jamar Chase, I give that to the Ravens backfield, defensive backfield, 10 out of 10 times. But uh, somehow, I guess I will give Zach Taylor that credit. Whatever they're dialing up plays to get the ball into the playmaker's hand is working. It's working. So I'll give the Bengals that credit. I think they're playing way above where they should be. I don't think they're that good of a team, frankly, and I think they're playing way better than they're surprising. Um, my other surprise too was just how great they did at containing Lamar Jackson. I think they took it seems like a bend but don't break approach to him. Like he kind of had his way, but not really. Like they gave him just enough, but they also
Yeah,
stiffened up when it needed to be. He still had 88 yards on the ground at 7.5 a pop, which isn't great, but they kept him out of the end zone. He had 250 passing, but only one touchdown. So they stiffened up when it needed to be. They didn't allow a lot of sevens. They didn't allow a lot of scores. Um, and it was just an impressive defensive performance from a defense that at the beginning of the year you wouldn't have expected that from.
yeah, definitely. Um, I was extremely shocked. I thought it would be a close game that would favor the Ravens coming out on top. But yeah, if you would have told me not even 6 weeks ago, just last week, Jamar Chase would run crazy on the Baltimore secondary. I wouldn't have believed it because I would have thought at some point, okay, Marlon Humphrey's got to shadow this guy. He's some double team something. And some could say overreaction Wednesday could have been saying that Jamar Chase is the best Bengals receiver ever to hit the grass, but I'm a big fan of Ocho Cinco, so I can't say that. But the man has definitely turned heads. It went from I can't catch NFL football to all I do is catch NFL footballs and having a spectacular season. But Jake, let us know your thoughts on this statement win from the Bengals.
So, at what point do we have to start giving respect to the Bengals? Because I'm with PJ at one point at the beginning of the season. I was okay. The Bengals are just playing way better than what they should be playing. But when it keeps happening every week and you keep seeing surprises, even a game that looked like, oh man, they might lose this game against Jacksonville, Joe Burrow showed up, he made some plays at the end, and they won the game. A game that they're supposed to win, he won. Those still count because you could have said the Ravens were supposed to win this game and they didn't. The Chargers were supposed to win last week, they didn't. So when you can win the games that you're supposed to, does that narrative of the team is just playing better than what they're supposed to, does that finally start changing to, okay, maybe they're just better than what we thought at the beginning and we have to start respecting them? Because that's how I feel with them.
I'll say this. I definitely agree. I feel like this win was my stamp of, okay, you got my attention. The
Okay.
big question mark for me was two things. Offensive line, because we all know last year
No, Burrow
Burrow
was
was out
dying.
here dying, running for his life, but also to the defense. Now, I'm not saying the defense is elite, but it is at least good enough to get you some good key stops. They got some good guys. They sacked Lamar 5 times yesterday. And if you look at the sack numbers for Burrow, one time.
And it's not just Jamar Chase, because Higgins had about 15 targets. Boyd is a savvy veteran. He has great route running. He can get you what you need. So you have 3 receivers that can really break down any matchup.
Yeah,
it's
definitely
dangerous.
favoring them. Especially this week, they play the Jets, who just picked up.
And this is a game that you're expecting the Bengals to win, so they have to win. You can't, even though it's the Jets, if you lose this game, the whole narrative of what PJ was talking about comes back. Where okay, you're not that guy, basically. You were supposed to win and you didn't. So these are the games that you have to still win.
Yeah, for sure. PJ, any closing words on the
Bengals?
No.
CJ Uzoma, he's getting some looks too. In addition to the 3 speedy wideouts that you got, their offense looks great. Could you imagine if they had like a Najee Harris, CMC on their team?
Sheesh.
I think that team is unbeatable. Joe Mixon's all right. He's passable, but if they had a stud,
I think P. Ryan should be getting more attention.
Yeah, and he got 11 carries, almost as much as Mixon. So maybe they're realizing that as well.
Yeah. Or take Dearness Johnson away from Cleveland, put him on the Bengals.
Yeah, PJ would.
I'm fine with that, but you almost never trade to a division rival, especially in season.
Yeah.
So that's not going to happen.
But hey, where there's good, we also got to go back to the bad. Justin Fields, turnover machine. The Bears went into Tampa expecting to pull an upset amongst upsets and got completely wrecked. Lost to the Bucs 38-3. Turnover. Justin had 3 interceptions, 3 fumbles. 2 fumbles. It seemed like it was 3. He did fumble 3 times, but he lost 2 of them. Okay. And I don't even know where to start here. Jake, What are your thoughts on Mr. Turnover Fields?
Okay, so before this morning, I was thinking, okay, maybe Fields, maybe it's just another quarterback that everyone had hype for. Not going to work out. He'll be one of those 12-year veteran guys. He ends up being a great ESPN analyst. That's what I was thinking. But I watched Dan Orlovsky, and I really like his takes lately. He says out of the 5 turnovers that he had, only 2 you can really blame him for. The rest falls on coaching. And I would say the reason is because they had a left tackle that's like the 5th string trying to block those pass rushers. And it was just like a revolving door. So you're not giving him any protection because it was one-on-one. It's not like they had a double teaming on that side because it was the weaker side. That was just open season for the defense on Fields. So on that point, I kind of get that. And then there was another on the first pick where he was scrambling. Apparently, the reports are that Fields in his head was saying, this is a broken play. They have 12 men on the field. So for a quarterback, when they hear that, you just throw deep because you have an open play. That wasn't the case at all. It ended up being pick, and that's a turnover. So that falls on coaching too. So in that aspect, if he's the quarterback analyst, whatever. So if you're gonna blame that makes sense to you. You're only gonna take 2 turnovers out of the 5. You're gonna blame on him. That's not really bad against that Buccaneers defense. I don't like Matt Nagy for him. I don't think it's working. I don't think he's setting him up for failure, but I don't think he knows how to handle it or how to coach this type of quarterback. So it's kind of too early to tell for me.
Yeah, I'm really not a fan of Matt Nagy or the GM, to be honest with you. I mentioned earlier in our chat that it's time for a rebuild. The guys you have remaining that are worth something or worth some trade value, I feel like you had to start fielding calls. Maybe not now. Trade deadlines in about a week or so. Off season, definitely stack up on the picks, build your offensive line. You got to GM's got to go too. Those two just have not been that great. But the most concerning part is, okay, so we have the struggles of the offense. But PJ, I mean, defense has got Khalil Mack, Roquan Smith, Trevathan, Eddie Jackson. They should have been able to put up somewhat of a fight, don't you think?
Defense is lost. I watched there's some highlights of Leonard Fournette running, just absolutely through the teeth of their defense. Which they're usually stout up the middle, man. Man, I can't remember this dude's name. One of their cornerbacks, Johnson, I think. Oh, Jalen Johnson was actually an incredible cornerback. Um, he's his back is to the play. It's a run play, and his back is to the play the entire time. Like, just doesn't even know where the ball is. Like if your studs, it seems like aren't even like they're either not giving their all or they don't or they're not trying. I think you're losing the team. Mac is old. Khalil Mack he's done. He's washed. Send me a jersey though. But yeah, I do agree with both of you actually. I'm not quick to put the blame on Justin Fields yet, because of what you all said. Um, Matt Nagy's a trash coach. Sorry, Matt Nagy, if you're listening, don't send me anything. Um, not that,
You take a
not,
visor.
not that he's a bad coach. I shouldn't say that, right? This is a human
He's just
being.
not good calling the
Yeah,
shots.
this is a human being with a job to do, right?
Yeah.
You paid a lot of money for it. You can't do it well. Find something else to do. Invest in Bitcoin. I don't know. He's not that guy, right? And the Bucks defense is no slouch, right? Like, they beat up veteran established quarterbacks. They handed it to Dak at the beginning of the year. Look what they did to Patty Mahomes in the Super Bowl last year. Absolutely dismantled the man, right? So of course, you kind of expect them to beat up a rookie quarterback with his what, third, fourth starter, you know, of his career, it's a little bit expected. But like Jake said, the coaching is not helping him. It's not putting him in positions to succeed. It's setting him up to fail. It's setting him up to do worse than he should be doing. That being said, Minnesota wanted him. I'm kind of glad that they don't have him because I don't like what I'm seeing out of him. A lot of it is the coaching, but he's got a lot of indecision, deer in the headlights look. Um, could be he doesn't trust the coaching staff. Could be he doesn't trust his defense to get the ball back for him because they're not. But as a Vikings fan, I love to see it. Keep Matt Nagy, keep Justin Fields. I love it. We
Yeah,
get
for
some easy
sure.
dubs.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, we'll see. It really wouldn't shock me if Matt Nagy's gone well before Black Monday, to be honest with you.
But I think this does show it was not Trubisky's fault. And I
Oh
wouldn't
yeah,
be
big
shocked
time.
if once this deal is done with Buffalo, if Mitch is on a team competing for a starting job, because he deserves another chance. Especially seeing what's going on in Chicago now. Hopefully NFL
Yeah,
teams are looking like maybe Pittsburgh. Hey, if you're looking for a stopgap quarterback or somebody to revive their career, that's a great guy to have, especially with Harris
yeah,
behind him.
yeah, for sure. We'll continue to monitor it, but hey, going into my favorite section of the show, fantasy talk. Gentlemen, let's get into our fantasy winners for this week. Hey, it doesn't have to be somebody on your team. It could obviously be somebody you marveled from afar as you watched the game, or that you saw that this guy put up. I'm gonna go first. This guy, however, was on my team. DeAndre Swift. Now, for you Swift owners out there, it was against the Rams. You thought, hey, if you could crack 10, I'd be extremely happy with that. But man, did Mr. DeAndre Swift do more than just crack 10. Took his first catch of the game to the house. Finished with his rushing yards, 13 attempts for 48 rushing yards. But where he really did damage against the Rams was in the passing game. 11 targets, 8 receptions, 96 yards, and 1 tutty. So DeAndre Swift, although you didn't win the game, you won the game for me, man, and I appreciate you for that. Jake, hit us with your fantasy winner.
So I wanted to do two. I picked one on my team, obviously, which is Mike Evans. Um, 3 touchdown performance. Definitely helped me in a week that I needed him. But I know a lot of people had him, depended on him. He's gonna be one of those top performers again. But it's a guy that we mentioned earlier in the
Nah,
show.
I was gonna say don't take my pick. No, go ahead, go ahead.
Oh no, it's a guy we mentioned earlier in the show, Jamar Chase, just to see what he was doing. Like I'm paying attention to my matchup for the week, and I always look at the other matchups, and I just keep seeing Jamar's Chase numbers go up. And then at one point, I'm like, all right, the defense is gonna clamp up. He's probably not gonna score anymore. Then this dude gets
Never
a
did.
70-yarder touchdown, and he just houses it. I'm like, okay, he's not done. And it just keeps going and going. And it was just fun to watch, especially watching the highlights.
Yeah, for sure. PJ, your winner this week.
Yeah,
Kaseki.
so I was gonna pick Jamar Chase, but he boomed me, so I can't pick him. Gasicki is a solid option because he's been super stout for me, especially after Axel, who talks nonstop and doesn't know what he's talking about, told me he was whack. He's been balling out. Um, but I'm actually picking the guy throwing to Gasicki, Tua.
Oh.
Yeah, Tua. Tua dropped 42 points this week. Of course, he missed a few weeks. He was number 28 QB coming into this week. He was a free agent in our league, right?
Yeah,
Nobody saw him deserving of a roster spot, even a bench spot. He filled in because of bye weeks. And look at him, he's balling. You can even go back to last week, the game in London. He put up good numbers too. But 4 TDs this week, 4 carries, 30 yards. He might be a viable stopgap fill-in quarterback, and I'm not a Tua fan. I like the kid. I hope he does well, but I never liked him. I'm actually turning my opinion around and changing my mind a little bit. Tua's a winner this week.
yeah, man. And when there are winners, there are duds. I have a feeling me and PJ are going to have the same one. This guy is not on my fantasy team. Mike
Is he on my
Davis.
team? Oh, come on.
Mike Davis. You weren't even on my team, bro, and I felt bad for all Mike Davis owners. I don't know what happened. It's
Such a
complete Jekyll
juicy
and
matchup
Hyde.
too. It was such
Yeah,
a
in
good
a matchup
matchup.
where the Dolphins have
Such a
been
good
letting
matchup.
running backs just run on them, you expected, hey, at least give me 10.
I mean, that's his floor right now.
Sucker didn't even get you 2, did he? Like,
Yeah, he's
He got 10
I'm
yards, and that's it.
yeah,
I'm looking at how quickly I can drop him. I'm gonna drop him right now, actually. To be totally honest with you, he's been a huge disappointment all year for sure. Uh, he had a great season last year. Of course, you didn't think he'd be phenomenal. He's going to a worse team, arguably in the Falcons. But you thought, hey, RB2 flex numbers, like Matt said, 10
at
points, right?
least, at
You get
least.
50, 60 yards on the ground. You get 2 catches for 30 yards. That's 10 points. That's an easy 10. You get a touchdown every now and then. Boom, this guy's at 15, 16 every now and then. 10 to 15 points seems reasonable for Mike Davis. He's terrible.
I mean, he's gotten you
He's
double digits every week. This is the first week he got one.
No, he's not got me double digits every week. He's gotten me around 10 or 11 most weeks.
I mean,
Uh,
look at it. Look
but
at the numbers.
he's also matched it up with zeros. No, 1, 8, 7s. Oh yeah, I hate him. I hate him, and I'm gonna drop him.
Literally
All right,
10,
12,
13,
10.
11, 10, and 12. It's just one bad game. He's literally doing what you
He's,
asked him to do.
I'm dropping him. I'm
I
dropping
wouldn't.
him.
Okay, now look, I wouldn't drop him. He's a
I
dud
already
for
dropped
this
him.
week.
He's
No, you
gone.
didn't. I
He's
didn't get an
dropped.
alert.
He's
This
dropped.
You
guy,
can't drop a player that's in your
He's cut.
I think you
cut.
can, but this guy. Jake, your fantasy dud for this week.
I think it's a guy that's been a dud all season. And I don't know why he continues to be played in our league, but he is. He probably shouldn't even be rostered in many fantasy
Robinson?
leagues. Yes, Allen Robinson.
Yeah,
Bears, please just release the man. He doesn't want to play for you, and it's either showing or he's done. So
just
either
trade
way,
him. Yeah,
if you
I don't
can't
think
trade
he's
him,
done.
release. I don't think he's done either. I think he's done with them.
I think
Uh,
agreed.
so release the man, let him be free, get out of it. If you can't trade him next week, release him. There's no point in keeping him there. Let Mooney get a lot more targets, get some more younger guys out there. But I don't blame it on Robinson, but he's definitely not helping anyone in fantasy this year. And it showed again this
Yeah.
week.
Yeah, for sure. But moving into our waiver wire pickups, just some guys that if you're trying to add some depth to your lineup, or maybe get somebody because somebody on your team got hurt, check out these waiver wire pickups. Kenneth Gainwell, obviously with the news of Sanders getting hurt, being week to week with the ankle. He is him and Boston Scott. I favored Gainwell just a little bit more. If you haven't already, look into Rashad Bateman, Darius Slayton of the Giants, Russell Gage, Brandon Bolden, Khalif Raymond of the Lions. Played really well against the Rams. Daniel Jones. Hey, if you need a filler at quarterback, Lamar is going to be on a bye week this week. Take a shot. They're playing the Chiefs. We all know that defense ain't stopping nobody. And lastly, Cincinnati Bengals against the Jets this week. So those are some of the waiver wire pickups that we like. You guys got anything to add to that?
Yeah, I'm surprised to see Kenyon Drake is still available. Only rostered in 64% of leagues. He's definitely a grab with Josh Jacobs going down. I got another one, but I don't really want to tell you guys because since I lost this week, I'm trying to snatch him up quick.
I mean, I'm not gonna
Um,
get it. I'm not gonna get a
Bro,
chance to
I'm
get
about
him.
to have the number 9 waiver
I,
pickup. It's
I
really
think
not
I'm
going to
gonna
matter.
snatch and stash CJ Uzoma from the Bengals, the tight end. He's tight end 11 this year. Tight end is not a good position and he's barely outside top 10. He might be in the top 10 after this performance this week. 91 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah,
He could be tight end 10 on the year. Good trade bait. Or solid bye week fill in too. I think I'm gonna snatch
for
him up,
sure.
snatch him.
I
Yep.
like Mo Alley Cox
Now I'm gonna put
too.
a waiver claim.
I know he's not the number one tight end for the Colts on the depth chart, but he's getting a touchdown almost every game, it seems like. It's a great filler for either depth or bye week tight end. He seems like once in the red zone, that's the number one guy, him and Pittman. So if you need someone on tight end, like PJ said, it's very, very bad out there. If you don't have like a top 7, 8 tight end, it's very bad. So if you
Yeah,
need
for
someone,
sure.
grab. I like Mo. I like CJ, like PJ said. So I like those two guys.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Mo. I just
I
wish
don't
he
know
was
why
more
he
of a
doesn't get
tight
fed
end.
more though,
Yeah,
because he's a big
same.
body in the middle.
I don't understand either. But hey, yeah, he played basketball at VCU. But it is time, ladies and gentlemen. Fantasy starts and sits for week 8. PJ, what you got for us at the quarterback position? I think
Hi.
PJ's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, there was a rat running around US Bank Stadium. I had to go tend to it
Gotcha.
real quick.
Yeah, man, you got to make sure
Um,
the stadium's good for that Cowboy
gotta
Sunday nighter.
yeah, man. It's Sunday night. We got Al Michaels commentating, so we gotta make sure the
Trash
house
team,
looks nice
trash
for
stadium.
him. Nah, this is easily one of the nicest stadiums in the league right now.
SoFi.
The Big Hughes. The, say that again.
SoFi is better.
Oh,
Oh, well, yeah, it's brand
SoFi's
spanking new.
it's new. Yeah, it's
All right
what
then.
1 year old.
It's,
This
it's
this
better.
stadium's already 4 seasons old or whatever. I said it's
Yeah,
one of the best. I didn't say it's the best.
No.
I'm gonna say SoFi. US Bank is a
I'd
top 4
say,
stadium in the league.
yeah,
Be
I'd
honest with
say
you.
Las Vegas Raiders is second again, obviously because it's new. I'd say US Bank's number 3.
Yeah.
I give him 3 spot.
They got rats, bro.
How you think I'm eating in here? Hey, my my start for the week. It's a little bit obvious. But you got to do it. Josh Allen. He's playing the Dolphins. Dolphins have one of the worst defenses, in the league right now. Josh Allen's gonna eat. I will say, take a little bit of caution with that, only because, if the Bills are up 36-0, at halftime, third quarter or something, you could see them benching him. I do see the Dolphins fighting though. I don't think it's gonna be close, but I don't see it being 36-0. So I'm gonna go Josh Allen. I'm also gonna go, since I'm in US Bank, with that boy Kirk. I think this is gonna be a shootout game. The Vikings don't do well primetime games. Yes, sure. We hear that narrative. But they also do really, really well in games after bye weeks. I think this is going to be a shootout. Vikings defense can't stop nobody. Cowboys defense, uh, they're
Diggs,
mixed. They give up big plays.
Diggs is
They're,
about to have 5 picks. Watch.
no, no, because Kirk isn't a turnover machine. He's boring, but he makes safe decisions. He's not a turnover machine.
It's true.
Diggs is aggressive, so he could get a pick, but he also lets up plays. And if
100%.
you let if you let Jefferson get behind you, it's over. I could
Hmm.
I could see a shootout here. I'm starting Kirk with confidence, especially because this is the last game of Kirktober. It's proven that the month of October is when Kirk Cousins performs his best. His last start in Kirktober, the last day of Kirktober, put Kirk Cousins in there with confidence.
So Shaquille O'Neal start the rest of the season then?
No, because then we get to Kirk Vember, baby.
Okay, so just okay. Remember, okay.
This guy. Jake, hit us with your running back starts for week 8, man.
So you have your obvious picks, obviously. Anyone basically in the top 12 you're starting. But one guy that I do want to bring up is Chuba Hubbard. I know he didn't have a great week against the Giants. I get that. That whole Panthers team did not have a great game against the Giants. Hubbard should have ate big time in this game, but they're going against Atlanta. I really like this for Hubbard and for the Panthers just as a comeback win. I think Darnold has a nice comeback game also. So I like that matchup. And then either of the Buffalo running backs, Singletary or what's the other guy's name? I lost it. Moss. There it is. Either of those running backs against Miami. We saw what Cordell Patterson did against Miami. I like that two-headed monster that they have. They share the carries. So I like those two going in and Hubbard.
Some starts for a receiver that I got this week. I didn't want to go with the obvious. So I'm going to start Michael Pittman against the Titans. Now, look, you're probably saying, Matt, what are you talking about? The Titans shut down the Chiefs. They beat the Bills. The defense is still pretty bad. The secondary, we'll say, is still pretty bad. Ranked one of the worst, not the worst, but definitely top 5 worst in the league. Michael Pittman had a spectacular game last night, dunked on the guy, mossed him to score a touchdown. Has actually put together quite a nice season for himself. So definitely a start there. And then I'm going to go Cortland Sutton against Washington football team. Yes, Jerry Jeudy is back, but I don't think that's going to matter. Washington is also bad, which is also a shocker to say. They're definitely one of the worst in the league at letting up yards. Just axed the Packers this past week. As far as tight ends go, PJ, what do you got for us in the start?
Yeah, I'm staying right there with you actually in Denver. That's my start of the week is Noah Fant. Washington's a very favorable matchup versus tight ends in the middle. And I feel like with the way that they've been harassing their quarterback, the O line has been letting up pressure against whoever. What's this guy's name? U.S. Bank legend Teddy Bridgewater, Drew Lock, whoever's starting. They don't have much time. I think it's gonna be kind of a quick strike offense, especially going against. We know who the football team has. They've got great pass rushers, Chase Young, Sweat. They're gonna be getting after these guys. I think it's gonna be quick pass season, and I see Fant. It could be Judy too, running a little, digs, crosses, and stuff. But it's gonna be a quick play game. Fant for sure. And I gotta give the other start to Gesicki. Dolphins are still beat up. The only options that Tua has are Gesicki and Waddle, and they're both eating in any game that they've played so far. They're both eating because there's no one else. So he's getting almost double-digit targets each game, 7 to 9 targets a game. With that much volume, you're gonna produce. So Gesicki and Fant.
Do you like Conklin going into this week?
I don't.
Because I see he's playing
Conk-
Dallas, and that's a pretty good matchup. But you know them better.
The only reason is Conklin. He hasn't really stepped into that tight end one role on the team. Um, he looks like he doesn't want the ball really. He's a great blocking tight end. He's also a good route runner, but like he's had a few drops this year in big situations. He looks really timid when he has the ball in his hands, almost like he's not used to having the spotlight. I think he's a 5th round, 6th round pick. He's not used to the spotlight on him, and I think he's especially on a Sunday night game, he might disappear again. It's a good matchup. I don't know if I would start him.
Some starts for the defensive guys. This one, I can't really escape the obvious. Rams against the Texans. If the rookie is still back there starting, the Texans offensive line is just pure bad. It's Aaron Donald will be back there as much as the rookie will be back there. Unless Tyrod plays, but it's still a start regardless of who's there. And obviously the Bengals against the Jets. No Zach Wilson. Insert maybe Joe Flacco on a short week. He just got traded. We'll see how much he can pick up on the offensive knowledge. Obviously, new scheme and whatnot there. So we'll see. Definitely worth the start if you haven't picked up the Bengals defense yet. Jake, hit us with some kickers.
Tyler Bass, Matt Gay, Greg the Leg, McManus, Jason Myers.
So all of them.
It's a kicker, my guy. Just grab one, put him in, play him. I don't understand. Like, I get it. Kickers have to be played, but if you guys are really in depth on kickers, you need to check your fantasy lineup. So
yeah,
if you're banking on a kicker, you guys need to do some watch some other episodes. We can try to help you create a better fantasy team.
Wow. As someone who rostered Koo last year, who was averaging 16 points a game, Koo was a wide receiver 2 for me last year. I disagree with what you're saying.
What about now?
The top three kickers each year will get you 15 points every week guaranteed. If you can get one of the top 3 guys, it makes a big difference.
I wouldn't say every week because I have
this
one
year
of
has
those top 3
sucked
guys.
with kickers.
Yeah, I have one of those top 3 guys. He's had his ups and downs, but still pretty good. I mean, the most he scored for me was 16. So, give or take, depending on the week, your top 3 kicker can be a good flex option for you. But
Butker's supposed to be one of the
15.
best kickers, and he's only hit double digits twice.
Yeah, so
the team as a whole is struggling around Butker, though. You know, if the team's not scoring or getting into position to score, what's he gonna do? Get out there and catch passes?
I mean, somebody has to. You saw Danny Dimes; he was catching passes.
PJ hit us with some quarterback sits for this week.
Oh, you mean tight end sits?
No, quarterback sits. Bro. We haven't done sits.
Yeah, you did starts.
You do quarterbacks and then.
All right. Well, go to someone else. I had tight end sits on
you want to wake up, bro? All right, Jake, hit us with some running backs, man.
So running backs. So I have some sits. I do not like any of the Atlanta running backs going this week against Carolina. One player. Obviously, you're not sitting him, but I would lower your expectations for Sir Dalvin Cook. I know Dallas does not have the best D-line, but I have a big feeling that Micah Parsons is going to have an assignment against Dalvin Cook. And Micah Parsons seems to be a different kind of animal coming out of that defense. So I think you just have to temper expectations. He's projected at 20 points. So I don't think you're going to see Dalvin Cook hitting 25, 30. If he gets you 13, 14, 15, that's probably what you should expect.
I get what you mean. I see what you mean.
I'm just saying damper expectations. Don't think that, all right, I'm putting Dalvin Cook out there. He's going to get me 30.
Not sit the guy.
Yeah, you're not sitting
nobody
it.
in their right mind is
100%.
Okay. Just to clarify for the people, nobody is telling you to sit Dalvin Cook.
If you have Dalvin Cook, you need to start him at all costs.
Sit Cookie. Blame it on Jake.
Blame it on Jake for the reason you lost. Hey, everybody in our chat's doing it. Some sits for the receiver position. Brandon Cooks against the Rams. Again, I just don't think it's not that he can't do it. Ramsey's not shadowing anybody this year. He's bouncing all around the field, even blitzing, even playing some safety. I just don't think you're going to have time to catch the ball. Maybe if Tyrod plays this week, he has that rollout factor. He can maybe get you some quick, easy targets. But I don't like that matchup against the Rams. I'm also going to sit Tim Patrick. Tim Patrick owners, it was nice while it lasted. Jerry Jeudy is back. You got to assume him and Cortland Sutton will be the 1-2 punch. Tim Patrick will take a little bit of a backseat, so I don't like him. And it's not that, I did say Cortland against Washington. It's just because Judy's back. The target share there with Tim Patrick will start to regress somewhat. as Judy gets back into rhythm. So, PJ, you ready now?
I'm ready. Ba-da-da-da-da-dun. My sits for the week. Quarterback. I'm sitting Tannehill this week. He does have a juicy matchup. Colts defense has been a little bit lackluster. Tannehill is QB 18 on the year, which is respectable. But the guy's losing red zone uh, opportunities to Henry running, and now opportunities to Henry passing. Henry might start at quarterback over this man. Tannehill has gone several games without throwing a touchdown pass. Two games without throwing a touchdown pass, and 4 games with throwing 1 touchdown pass. He's only got 7 on the season. He's not scoring in droves. Tough divisional matchup. I'm staying away from him. I'm also staying away from every single quarterback in the Seahawks Jags game because that's going to be a nightmare. See that game's going to be 9-6. That's going to be the most hideous game ever. I don't trust either of those teams. They're both bad. They're both terrible. Stay away from all of them.
And while you have the floor, give us your tight end sits for this week.
Hey, back to me. It's gonna be tough. I think. Saying what I'm gonna have to say. The Vikings are terrible. At covering tight ends. Usually, whatever tight end matchup, you have, start them. However, the Cowboys have 2 great tight ends, and they just go to whichever hand is hot. And the problem is the Vikings adjust really well, so they're gonna lock up one guy. I think you're gonna gamble this week if you start a Cowboys tight end, which one the Vikings go to target. I think one's gonna go off, Dalton Schultz or what's this guy's name, Jarwin,
Blake Jarwin.
Blake Jarwin, and the other one's gonna be a dud. I'm leaning towards sitting Jarwin this week. And my other sit, Jalen Johnson from the Saints. He's up and down. He's very touchdown dependent. But coming up to next week, Michael Thomas should be back, so he's even going to lose targets there to Michael Thomas. His few targets are going to shrink even more and more. I'm staying away from Juwan Johnson, and of course, it's a bad matchup against the Bucks.
Yeah, for sure. The sits for this week: Packers defense against the Cardinals. Short week, traveling to Arizona, and the fact that you have no Devontae Adams, I have a feeling your defense is going to be out there quite a bit. The Alan Lazards and whatnot showed up, but Washington cannot defend the pass whatsoever. And now that you have your best weapon sitting out, I just think it's going to be so many 3-and-outs for the Packers this week. So sit the Packers defense, sit Patriots defense this week. Chargers are fresh, coming off a bye week. Their last taste of football was being brought back down to earth against the Ravens. I'm not going to say they're going to explode and put up 40, but I do think the week off to refresh was good for them, and to come back and show the world, hey, we're still pretty good. I don't think the Patriots will be able to stop them, and obviously, too, you lost a corner, Jonathan Jones, for the season. So that's my sits for this week. Jake, you got any kickers, man?
If they're on a bye week, sit your kicker. And then that's basically it.
You mean I can't start Tucker, bro? You mean I can't start Tucker?
I mean, it's a kicker. I mean, you might as well. If that's all you got.
Man, kickers everywhere. Attack Jake. He doesn't think you're people.
I just gotta go, and they'll fall or something.
Tucker, send me a jersey.
So let me ask you a question: are you starting the Jags kicker this week?
Sure.
If you, this guy's lying. If you had an option. If you had an option between the Jags kicker and the Bills kicker playing the Dolphins, which kicker are you picking?
Whichever one I get my hands on. Obviously, you want Tyler Bass.
He's lying. No, he's lying. He knows
Tyler
he's lying.
Bass is kicker number 3. Obviously, you're gonna pick. You literally picked one of the top 3 kickers and the worst kicker.
So it does make a difference then. So it does make a difference.
Okay, yeah, one will get you 8 and one will get you 9.
Get out of here.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, hey, let us know your starts and sits. Also, let us know too. Did our help from the previous week help you guys in week 6? Hopefully so. If we did, hey, let us know. If it didn't, hey, still let us know. We'll all be Jake and take the blame for this week.
Blame it on Jake.
Hey, your boy's saying pretty though this week. That's all I'm saying.
Same. Sorry, PJ. In other sports,
PJ got clapped.
in other sports, hey, the NBA is back, and man, the red hot Bulls are off to a good start. Lonzo, DeRozan, Caruso, Zach LaVine is absolutely loving it right now in the Windy City. He's got some help, man. They haven't lost a game yet. Won tonight as we record this podcast. And obviously, it's a long season, but hey, we wanted to touch a little bit on the NBA. Jake, just a quick synopsis on your thoughts with the Bulls so far.
I was a huge fan of Lonzo in the offseason. I was like, he's gonna make the best decision for himself. I obviously wanted him in New York, but I knew wherever Lonzo went, he was gonna be successful because I don't think he was a problem or that he was a bad player. I just don't think he was in the right system. They weren't using him the right way. So I really like what's going on there. And I will say the Ball brothers are owning the Eastern Conference as we speak. They are atop the Eastern Conference. So you never know if that's the Eastern Conference Finals, my guy. Ball brothers going at it.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's still way too early.
Super
but,
early, of course.
With
But
a long season, we want to give our thoughts on at least something to
LaMelo did
kind of keep
clap
you
the
guys
Nets, though.
informed. He did. He really did. But in other news, Ben Simmons. The drama continues. As far as the owner says, hey, this might continue on for 4 years. PJ, are you buying it?
I don't watch NBA until it gets to playoffs. And even I know Ben Simmons is garbage. That's tough. That's tough. I don't want to call anyone garbage. They're
Yeah, didn't
human
you just say
beings.
Matt
They're human
Nagy?
beings. Ben Simmons, send me a jersey. I got you, my guy. But learn to shoot, my guy. I
Yeah,
get you can't
something.
shoot threes. Fine, you're a power forward, whatever. Even though you're in an
He's a
era
point
when
guard.
everybody.
Yeah, the point guard.
No, but he's built like a power forward though.
Yeah.
When you're in the era when everyone can shoot threes, all right, fine, you can't shoot threes, but you can't shoot free throws, my guy.
He can't shoot anything. It's bad.
I will say this though, since you skipped me over, I don't care about any of this, but Utah Jazz are undefeated so far, so put some
Who?
put put some respect on Utah.
Anyways, in other sports, the World Series matchup is set. The Astros and the Braves hit the field tomorrow for Game 1 of the World Series. Of course, wanted to see the Dodgers make it, but hey, that's life for you. We will see who comes out on top by the next time we record this podcast. But now for our favorite, your favorite,
Braves in 5.
Hype. Braves in 5. I agree. I'll take the Braves. Our favorite, your favorite.
I don't support any team that's named after indigenous peoples. I call them the Atlanta baseball team.
Yeah, well, they're still called the Braves, so
They're still called the Braves. So
Atlanta baseball team.
Our favorite, your favorite, the Hype. Hey, we reached out to you guys today. We appreciate you guys for showing us what you're hyped for. Caleb, a regular to the show, regular listener, also said that he was hyped to dominate his NBA fantasy league. Hey, Caleb, we appreciate you chiming in. Hopefully, you can take home the championship for your league this year.
no, I see.
Yeah, but how them Spurs doing, Caleb? How them Spurs doing, bro?
Nah, bro, he's with me. Valley,
No,
Yeah, he's in
stop
the sun.
flip flopping.
He's
Stop
a
flip
Suns
flopping.
fan also,
No,
bro.
just
I
because he
tried to
moved to
tell this
Arizona.
guy.
Just because he moved to Arizona, this guy moved to Utah too.
And he was going for Donovan Mitchell.
It's not okay. You can't keep
I keep
flipping like
trying to
this.
tell you, bro. This
He's a
is the new
Spurs fan, and the
age.
Spurs are garbage can. They're garbage. They're doo-doo water. Just take
When
the L
Duncan
and
retired,
stick with
Caleb
them.
moved states, my guy.
Yeah, he was
That's how
done.
that's how
That's
bad it
how
is.
badly it affected him. He was devastated.
He didn't even live in
But Duncan
Texas, but
is
he still
back
left
though.
Florida.
Duncan's back on
All
the
right, so
coaching
wait
staff.
till Booker leaves Phoenix then. Where's my guy going next?
Who's ever hot. That's it.
He'll probably go to Denver or something. He seems to like those Western states over there. Jesse said he was hyped for the NBA season. We are too, just not right now. We'll keep our eyes out and kind of look, but it's a long season. I don't
Yeah.
really tend to watch till after All-Star break. That's when I really get into watching the NBA.
Yeah. I'm just paying
But
attention to the Knicks. That's really it. Like I don't even watch their games really. I just follow them, not until it starts getting a little more
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, same.
Football's on right now, my guy. I have way
Yeah,
more.
football's on. We got better stuff to do. But hey, now it's our time. Jake, tell the people something that you're hyped for this week.
I'm just hyped for just the time period that we're in right now. It's getting, especially in Florida, it's getting nice and cooler. Things are just clicking everywhere else, so pretty happy about that. And then fantasy is getting a little more crazier now. This is where it starts getting more intense. So, nothing too crazy going on. Just things are clicking, so I'm pretty happy.
PJ, tell the people what you're hyped for.
I'm hyped for something personal. It's my mental game. I feel like, like I have the ability, I have the skills when it comes to disc golf to be all right. I'm not obviously not great, but I feel like I got the ability to make some noise, and it's my mental game, man. I fall apart. I can't get over it. But I did it. I did it. Took the leap. Took the hurdle. Shot my best ever recorded round. I feel like I'm taking that next step, man. Also beat Fez in the playoff at his home course, so like the mental game is sticking with me. So I feel good about it. We'll see what's up. We'll see if it
Yeah,
stays.
man. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We're happy for you, though. At least I'll say I'm happy for you. Something I'm hyped for, man. It is good to finally be playing football again. I played football last Friday. Have not been able to stop thinking about anything else
But you don't run routes.
other than football since.
But you don't run
Got some
routes.
cleats. This guy. I got some cleats, some gloves. I'm ready. All I can think about is just playing football. I want to play again. I want to play every single day. Shout out to the guys playing last Friday. It was great. Had a good turnout, 9v9. Under the lights, Friday night lights, had a good feeling, but it was good to be back. And after over a year and a half, 2 maybe, since I last played, thanks to COVID. So had fun. Going to continue to play. Hopefully one of these guys, both of these guys, can join me one day. And,
But you don't run routes.
hey, PJ will get routed. Well, maybe he will.
By
Hey, that is our show.
Who? A 3-yard slant, my
We
guy.
appreciate you guys
Routed on
for
3-yard slant in flag
showing
football. You can
up
take them 3,
and
baby.
going.
You can take them 3
coming
yards,
to the
my guy.
show as PJ continues to state his case
Let me
that
take them. I'm taking
he
them
will
3 yards, my
try
guy.
to clamp me up, although he won't even be able to see past my elbow.
Jake,
we appreciate
Jake,
you.
say it right now. Say it right now.
Jake,
Oh,
tell people
God.
what they need to
Final thoughts. Final
people what
thoughts,
they
Jake.
need to know.
Final thoughts. Who gets more yards? Me running a route versus Matt? Matt running a route versus me?
Of course you're gonna get more yards.
So,
You're
yeah,
literally
that's it.
faster
It's
than
over.
me.
No,
It's
So-
over.
That's
You
not
don't run
saying
routes.
anything.
But
You don't run routes.
here's my thing though. Out of all the times that Matt's gonna be on you, how many times are you actually gonna get past him? Because one good shove and you're back like 10 yards.
That's fine. That's fine. You don't.
So there's a handful of times that once you get past him, that's it.
Receivers get
Literally.
bodied. Receivers get bodied by stronger corners all the time. You take a hezzy. You take a hezzy and a step back. You take a
Which
hezzy and a step
corner
back.
is an
My guy
entire
is
foot
leaning-
taller than the?
Xavier Rhodes. Xavier Rhodes. He's huge. You take a hezzy and a step back, and it's over.
There's no corner that's 6'6" going against.
No,
why
but Xavier
was-
Rhodes is big. What is he like? 6'2", 200? Like no, not 200. Like 6'2".
I'm saying
180.
Yes, you will
He's
get
big.
if you're gonna go off just pure yardage, you are going to get them because once you get past them, you're gonna beat him in speed. That's not a very
That's
comparable.
just
You're gonna
common
get
sense. That's
so
easily common sense. But I'm gonna
so
tell you
don't
this:
say so
I'm
don't
not
say
gonna
I'm
drop
getting
one
routed,
thing.
my guy.
I'm not gonna drop one thing.
That's
Why?
that's
Because
false.
you are a flea to me. But hey, we appreciate you guys for joining us this Wednesday on Regular Guys
They said you look
Podcast.
like a flea too. You didn't hear that?
Good night.
As always, man, we appreciate the love coming to you guys every other Wednesday. As you see, we enjoy creating these for you guys. My final words before I let these guys hit you with their outros: just continue to support us. We appreciate it. We'll look to maybe get some guys on and talk about their teams and maybe their thoughts as the season is approaching the halfway mark. But other than that, man, we love your support, the regulars, each and every time we come up with an episode. PJ, closing words.
Yeah, if you haven't tried it yet, try actual Japanese ramen, not the stuff from a bag. Uh, Go to a Japanese restaurant, get some ramen. It's incredible. It'll change your life. We'll see you all in 2 weeks.
All right.
Jake, hit us with your closing words.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us today. Hope this gets you through your rest of the day and the rest of your week. We love the feedback we constantly get from you guys. We will be dropping information on the Twitter account within the upcoming weeks. That's something we have in the works. So we will explain how all of that will go and will work and what exactly we want to do with it. But hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. See you guys in 2. Peace.
Regular Guys Podcast.